What is up, YouTube? It is me, xole, with a haircut, back with another Ableton Live tutorial. So in this video, I'm going to be teaching y'all how to make a full song using a real guitar. So either an electric guitar or a acoustic guitar. Yeah, so in this video, I'm going to be using my electric guitar, which is a Fender Squire right here, and the way that I plug this guitar into my computer is through this cord that I bought on Amazon. It's a guitar jack cord to a USB, so I just plug this guitar jack into my guitar, and then I plug the USB into my computer, and I'm able to record my electric guitar in Ableton. It's wonderful. So I'm not going to be giving y'all a link to that cord because there's like thousands of them. Just look up guitar cord to USB or something and you might find it. So in this video, I'm going to be using that electric guitar, but when I want to record my acoustic guitar, what I end up doing is I end up just using my mic that I use to record vocals, which is a Blue Yeti, one of the cheapest mics out there, $100 I think, and that's a USB mic too. So I just turn my mic on and then record my acoustic guitar, and that is how I use my acoustic in Ableton. So if you're watching this video, you might be thinking, okay, this is old guy, kind of knows guitars, right? But I don't know how to play guitars either. Yeah, I just find little notes on the guitar and I strum it, and if it sounds right, then I record it and I put it into Ableton, and that's about as far as my wisdom for guitars goes. So before we hop into this video, big thanks for 10,000 subscribers. I don't even know what to say. My last video, I was thanking y'all for 5,000, and now my next video, we have 10,000 subscribers, which is just crazy. So thank you for hitting that sub button. If you have not subbed already, I make a lot of videos just like this, so if you end up liking this video, consider hitting that sub button. It definitely helps the channel out, and it's free, so, you know. Alright, so let's just hop right into this song. Here's a little preview of the song that I made.
Like a white pair of stolen jeans that I wore out on Vegas' streets. Every day comes to me.
Alright, so here is our project. Not a lot of tracks. These 3 tracks right here are all my guitar recordings, and then these tracks down here are Ableton MIDI instruments, or I just used them for drums. So yeah, the first thing I did is I set the track to 140 BPM because I knew I wanted to have a faster track. And let me show you what kind of chords I recorded with my guitar. I'm going to move that to the center. I'm going to turn off all of these audio effects. There we go. Let's give a listen to these chords. So as you can tell, the chords are super simple, not too complex, and they repeat a lot, and this is really all I needed. So once I figured out how to play this, I was like, all right, we're set. I'm not going to get any more complex than this. The funny thing is, though, I wasn't even able to record my guitar. I wasn't even able to record my guitar this fast. What I had to do, and what I suggest y'all to do, if y'all aren't that good at guitar like me, I set the BPM to like 110, which was a lot slower. And I turned the BPM on, and then I recorded the guitar. And then after that, I ended up moving the BPM back up to 140. And when I turned the BPM back up, the guitar audio was a little bit weird, didn't sound really good warped. So what I ended up doing is I ended up changing the audio file. It was originally on Beats, changed it to Complex Pro, moved the formants down to 0 and the envelope down to 8, and it gave me a cleaner feel. There we go. So the next thing that I did is I ended up recording the same exact thing again. So I just recorded the same thing twice. So this is a different take right here. And then I moved one of them all the way to the right and one of them all the way to the left. So this is a really big trick that I learned that I like a lot. So when you pan one all the way to the left and one all the way to the right, and they are the same chords, but they're different takes, which is big, it just gives you a nice sound. So there's that. You could be thinking, why didn't you just paste the original recording down to the other track, because they're the same chords, right? But when you do this, it has a few phasing issues, which I don't understand that well. But it also doesn't have the differences, which is big. Like hearing one a little bit later than the other one on the right, that definitely adds a lot of flavor. So when you have the same take, it doesn't sound that good. So we ended up doing 2 different takes. I liked that sound a lot, but I wanted to add a little bit more sauce, so I went to Ableton's built-in audio effects. I went over to Flanger, and I threw that on my guitar. Flanger is a big audio effect for guitars. If you are recording real guitars, either acoustic or electric, I suggest throwing Flanger on there because it just gives you this nice wavy feel that a lot of people look for in their guitars. So I liked that a lot, but I wanted to add some space, so I threw in some Valhalla reverb, and that just elevated our sound really quickly. And then another huge audio effect for guitars is delay. I suggest throwing on delay, having some ping pong, so one of them on 3, one of them 6, or change up the numbers, but having different numbers to have the delay kind of stutter between both ears. So definitely throw delay on your guitars because it just adds a lot of sauce. And then we're going to throw on some EQ to boost some of those highs. Alright, so I was a huge fan of that. I like those chords a lot. I knew that I could make a song out of it. So the next thing that I did is I wanted to record a bass, so I ended up throwing in an audio track. But I don't have a bass guitar, so I ended up recording the bass with my electric guitar. So I'm going to move this up here. So I ended up recording this little bass riff with my electric guitar. Let's give it a listen. So if you turn the BPM on, you can tell that this little bass riff is pretty on beat, which is nice. You might also be thinking, okay, xole's actually got some skill with the guitar, but just like the way I recorded my other guitar, I ended up lowering the BPM to get just an easier take. And then I also, on top of that, I used Ableton's warp markers to move some of these notes. So like this note was a little bit before the beat right here, so I moved it just right there. So using these warp markers definitely helps you get a better take, a better recording. But if you do them for every single note and every single note is right on the dot, it's not going to give you like a good live feel. So definitely use them in moderation. So there's our little bass riff, but it doesn't really sound that much like a bass. So what I ended up doing is I ended up moving the semitones 12 down. I ended up lowering the semitones by 12, which is a whole octave. So 12 semitones is 1 octave. So these notes are going to be the same, but they're just going to be 1 octave lower. So it's going to be like bassier, if that's a word. There we go. I really liked that. So let's go over to our bass track. Let's look at these audio effects. So I ended up throwing a glue compression to sidechain my bass to my kick. I'll talk about that later. I also threw in a sausage fattener, which is a third-party plugin. Highly suggest it. Just definitely beefs up your lows. And then I ended up throwing in RC20 to give it some 2-pair distortion. And then I threw on some reverb to give it a little bit of space. And then I took off some of the highs. So this is what our bass sounds like now. And the bass with our regular guitar sounds like this. Alright, so there are our guitars. That's all I did for this track, for the guitars. The next step that I did is I threw in this pizza, what is this instrument called? The Pizza Go-Round. It's an Ableton built-in instrument. I think it's a synth lead. Go to instrument rack, synth leads. Okay, it might be a synth key. Yes, Pizza Go-Round right here. There we go. So, like I said, I don't know how to play guitar, so the chords that I was playing on the guitar didn't even know what they were, but I liked them, they sounded good. But that proves a problem when you're trying to record piano, because I didn't know what notes would be in the scale. So what I ended up doing is I ended up just throwing the Pizza Go-Round in, and then I turn on this little keyboard, which makes my keys on my computer, it makes them into MIDI notes. So what I ended up doing is I ended up just playing my guitar recording, and I tried to play some notes and figure out what notes sounded good with that guitar recording in order to like find the key of the song. Those all sound good. Those don't sound good. So I know that these two keys are probably not in the scale. So it was something like that. And I ended up recording these chords right here. Let's give them a listen. So I really like these chords because these chords definitely like make the sound go from like a mellow guitar song to like a pretty upbeat poppy song. So the guitar with these chords sounds like this. Alright, now we're going to throw in a snare, and this is my power snare that I'm going to be throwing in my next sound pack, so I'll link it somewhere if I end up figuring out what sound pack I'm going to put it in, but it's called my power snare. Just a really good like bedroom pop, lo-fi kind of snare, so I throw that just on the beat. The kick is a little distorted. Let's throw a limiter on that. There we go. Alright, now we're going to throw on these hi-hats that I have move from your left and your right ear. And they are pitched up 24 semitones, so they're like super high-pitched. So they're super quick, but I really liked that. I was kind of trying to find a sound like that. So these hi-hats kind of keep the rhythm of the song. So there we go. There's that. Let's move on to like the chorus section over here. So we have the guitar. Let's loop this. We have the guitar. There we go. Throw the bass on top of that. There we go. Throw the chords on top of that. Throw our drums on top of that. And then I have this little hi-hat loop from one of Ramzoid's sound packs. Definitely go check out Ramzoid. Definitely go check out Ramzoid. I pitched it down 7 semitones to kind of give like a darker vibe to them. So let's throw those on. Alright, so a little bit into the chorus, I end up throwing a s'mores lead. I end up throwing some flanger, some vinyl distortion, some reverb, some EQ, side widener, and then another EQ. So I really drenched this thing in some audio effects, but I ended up playing this little melody that I'm just a huge fan of. So this instrument actually, what do you call it? Glides. So when you have two notes that are kind of together and they're connected, it gets you like this little glide vibe, which I was a huge fan of. So that melody on top of the beat sounds like this. So I really think that that melody just kind of brings everything together and makes this song just have a really catchy vibe. So in like the first verse part, I end up throwing in a melody with the pizza go round again, the same instrument that I made the chords out of, and I play this melody. So, sounds pretty good. On top of the bass, it sounds like this. So I really like that melody, but I wanted to spice it up a little bit more. So I threw on some delay, some reverb, and then I just wanted it focused on the highs because I didn't want to muddy up the track. So it really just kind of changed the instrument as a whole. So let's give a listen with this bass. And then the drums come in. There we go. So I usually show y'all how I made my vocals, but in this video, I'm not going to do that because I kind of want it more geared toward how to make a song using a guitar. So I'm just going to play you my vocals on top of this beat.
Like a white pair of stolen jeans that I wore out on Vegas' streets. Every day comes to me like a white pair of stolen jeans that I wore out on Vegas' streets. I wish that I was just a little bit stronger.
Alright guys, thank you for watching this video to the end. I don't really have a lot of announcements. I'm so thankful for 10,000 subscribers. I mean, yeah. Thank you. Thanks for subscribing. Really, really helps me out. If you want to see more videos like this, drop a like, comment down below, let me know another video suggestion, give me an artist that you want to see me cover next. I do a lot of how to sound like videos, so drop me your favorite artist or something like that. Yeah. Thanks for watching. Peace.
Every day comes to me like a white pill.